Hi guys, and welcome back to my weekly Legend of Korra Season 4, Book 4 Balance weekly review series. My name is Necroxis, and we just saw Episode 6. And oh my god. Let's just get into the review, and I'll give you my thoughts on it afterwards. So, Episode 6 was entitled Battle of Zaofu, and I'm just going to go through my list of things, and afterwards, I'm going to tell you all of my feels about it. So, my list begins fairly innocuously. We start out with seeing Sue being the badass that I always knew she was. I really liked her plan. It actually made sense. I really liked how they showed her sensing the vibrations through the earth, trying to locate Kuvira. I love the callback that the Beifongs use that a lot. I think, actually, the last time we see that happen is with Lin. I think she uses it at some point after this, but I definitely remember Lin using it in Season 1 to find the Equalist base underneath Future Industries, one of their factories. I'm not sure if it gets used after that, but I know they at least mentioned that Toph's children do that in this series. So that was pretty cool. But that being said, I had thought the sensing of the vibrations was more sophisticated than that. I thought, instead of just saying, oh, there's a person in that tent, I thought she would have been able to figure out that at least it wasn't Kuvira. Also, I don't think Zhu Li and Kuvira even are the same height or even have the same body type. So, look, I get that Toph even said that her daughters weren't the best metal benders, but Sue has extensive knowledge of Kuvira. So when I found out, when we saw that she couldn't tell that wasn't Kuvira, it was the first time this episode out of many times where I was like, I don't believe you. Korra, I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Korra the show. I don't believe what you've just said to me in this episode right now. So, who knows? And then we get to Korra being with the family at their home, where Opal is basically saying, look, you gotta go do something, you gotta go save her. And where I said last episode, where I first thought Korra was smart for not wanting to rush headlong into a battle or to war, now it definitely just seems like she's avoiding a conflict because she's scared. Because if she's saying, look, I want to give this peace thing a chance, but then Sue does something that would ruin that, Korra doesn't figure that they should go and try and stop her before she gets there. So Korra doesn't want her to do this thing that would directly ruin the thing that she's trying to do, which is preserve the peace, but can't be bothered to go find her. Second time this episode where I'm like, Korra, I don't believe you. I don't believe what you're saying here. But then we get to, we finally see the emo Beifong, who I now and forever after this moment will refer to him as Skrillex Beifong. My note was, oh my god, Oh my god, Skrillex Beifong in the house. The emo metal bender artist is even better now somehow. As I'll get to later on, he is literally the best part of this episode. And you can take that as a criticism of the episode and also a good thing about Skrillex Beifong. So, then we get to, of course they get caught. I already mentioned that somehow Sue is stupid. There's no and can't tell that Zhu Li and Kuvira are not the same person. She gets caught. So we see Korra go confront Kuvira, and they have their conversation. Kuvira, this is how I knew exactly how the fight was going to go down before they even started. Kuvira said, Korra, if you win, you can do whatever you want with Zaofu. Instantly, I went, oh, well, Korra's going to lose. It's only episode 6. They've introduced literally no other storylines this whole season to indicate there would be any other possible villains or even other storylines. So, Korra's going to lose. It's going to be no contest. Korra's going to lose. She's probably even going to get her ass kicked, which turns out is what happens. So, they begin fighting, and of course, the fighting animation looks great, as always. Like I said, the animation last in this season is amazing. That doesn't have anything to do with the story, but, the animation was great. And so, I watched pretty much the entire fight from when they began until it cuts to Varric. I didn't really have any points until at the end when they cut to Varric. And then finally I had a thought go through my head. Here, I'll just read the note as I put it down. So I have a thought. Korra can metal bend, and Kuvira is wearing metal all over her armor. Why can she not just throw Kuvira around using the metal like Kuvira did to her with the 2 metal bands around her arm and her foot? Why can Korra not do the exact same thing? We know that Korra can metal bend. This was established last season. In fact, they even established that she was a very fast learner for metal bending, and probably, at this point, could be very good at it. Even though it's been 3 years, you don't just forget how to do a bending style. At the very least, she could have saved herself from getting thrown around using the exact same tactic probably 4 or 5 times by Kuvira. Korra has apparently come under what I'm going to be calling now, I already did say it, I said this before, but Korra now has Mako amnesia! Yeah! This storytelling of this season is so... it was going so well, you guys. And then we get to this episode, so... well, we're going to wait for that till the end. So, cut to Varric. And I notice Varric is totally going all Tony Stark here, sabotaging his own weapon so they can escape. I can go along with it. I like it a lot. Also, telling Bolin to continuously do the thing was funny. I never got tired of doing that. I didn't have a problem with Bolin this episode, so hopefully hopefully they blew their annoying Bolin load last episode, and we don't gotta see that shit no more. Because I had no problem with this episode, him, even though he didn't do much, but still, maybe that's probably for the best that he didn't do much. Let's see. So, we get back to the fight. And Korra's literally doing nothing other than just punching air and fire every once in a while. Sometimes she uses earth, but not really that much. And so she literally is doing the most basic kind of bending before she enters the Avatar state. I know she's been out of the loop for a while, but as I mentioned with metal bending, you don't just suddenly forget how to do literally the most basic stuff after 3 years. So, and it's also not like she hasn't been practicing either, so don't give me that shit. She may have been poisoned, but she still knew how to bend. We saw her doing it before she cured herself of the poison. Furthermore, we apparently find out when she does activate Avatar form that she still has PTSD for some reason, even though the episode, the last episode, it kind of confirmed that she was okay now, but now she suddenly has PTSD just when she has to fight Kuvira. Why? Who knows? Fuck logical storytelling. Let's just make her lose because we need her to lose at this point in the story. It reminds me exactly of when Minghua beat Mako last season, because for no other reason, Mako just apparently forgot how to lightning bend, and then when he ends up doing it later on, he beats her instantly. So, what the fuck? Legend of Korra, why are we doing this again? I asked you. It was the one request that I have. Don't go back to Season 3 bullshit, and you did. You never go full retard. You went full retard here. If the first 4 episodes weren't so good, I would give up on this season right now. I swear to God I would. Because I fucking don't even care anymore. But you won a little bit of goodwill from me with the first 4 episodes. So I'm going to see what happens next. But if this shit continues, I'll give you maybe 2 more episodes, and if we're still doing this, I'm done. I don't even care how it ends, because it doesn't fucking matter, because in the end, we all know they're terrible storytellers, and in the end, Kuvira's gonna lose because of some fucking bullshit anyway, so who even cares how we get there, because we're apparently not gonna use logical storytelling, we're not gonna use realistic plot twists and devices, we're just gonna ham-fist everything, like apparently Korra forgetting she can metal bend pretty well, just because the story needs her to lose. So, I kind of freaked out before I wanted to talk about everything, but let's continue. The episode's not over yet. So, Korra lost. What a surprise. It's almost like the show intentionally made her be terrible because they needed her to lose. So then we cut back to the Beifong city, and like I said, we see the scene where Skrillex Beifong is teaching Iki and Milo how to paint, and like I said before, this scene confirmed to me that Skrillex Beifong is the best part of this episode. That means the episode's bad. If the best part of the episode is a character who's in it for less than a minute cumulatively, then the episode's bad. So, they end up getting away. I have no idea how Opal can, just maintain a giant hurricane by herself, because she's been airbending for like literally 3 years. Maybe she became amazing all of a sudden. Who knows? But anyway, that's not a big deal. I just found that kind of weird. Because they never really made her seem like she was very powerful, but whatever. So they end up escaping, and so the hurricane is holding off basically all of the forces, except for the giant mechs. Korra manages to escape from the earth grab, or the earth cone that gets put up around her, or whatever you want to call it. Basically the same thing that Aang does to Firelord Ozai at the very end in order to take his bending away, puts up the cone of earth around him so his head is just sticking out. Korra manages to get out of that somehow. I don't know how she couldn't have done that before, but who knows. So she gets out. The only things able to even enter the windstorm are the mechs. And we saw, when Kuvira and Korra began fighting, that Sue and the two kids were not that far away from where they were. Korra can metal bend. Korra can metal bend, guys! Did you know Korra can metal bend? Why the fuck did she not just save them? Or, why didn't she just float them over to where they were with fucking metal bending and they all escaped together? Because the story needed Sue and the kids to be captured. That's why. So, we get to the very end, and my note was, I don't think I've ever advocated for someone on this show to legitimately be killed on screen, but Bataar Jr. really needs to be the first. I guess they did a good job with him because I legitimately hate him as a character. He's a fucking douchebag. I don't know why he hates his parents, but he does. But I want him to die. So Skrillex Beifong is getting led away, and he says, "You're crushing my individuality." And like I said, best part of the episode. And then we get to Julie at the very end, and she is totally still loyal to Varric. I refuse to believe otherwise, because it totally seems like a thing they would do. And at this point, I'm convinced Korra storytellers can't come up with anything more original than what a 6th grader could, and they're going to have Julie betray Kuvira at some point, sabotage whatever new weapon they're making, because Varric and Bolin destroyed, like, literally all of their stuff. They blatantly made it seem like this was all of the technology that they had available to make this weapon, and Varric destroyed it. But apparently, I can just recreate it, whatever. And so now they're going to remake it again with Julie and Bataar Jr. Whatever. But my point is, this episode was bad. It was not good at all. And even people I know who White Knight Legend of Korra thought this episode was bad. I'm not the only one. I'm not being a hater, because I know several people who gave me a lot of shit when I was reviewing the episodes last season. Have even come out, they already come out and said it because they've already watched it, but have come out and said this episode was bad. The way that Korra lost made no sense. She was bad for no reason other than she needed to lose. I need to calm down. I'm gonna give my fat ass a heart attack because I'm sick of this shit. Even my dog's in here now, and let's see if we can, hey look, it's the dog. Hey Axel, what do you think of Legend of Korra? Did it suck? Was Legend of Korra bad? Do they not know how to tell stories, Axel? No, they don't. They think we're all fucking idiots. And they can't even use the excuse that it's on Nick anymore because it's only online now. Right? Yeah. It was bad. It was bad, Korra. It was bad. It was terrible. It was one of the worst episodes of the entire series. Sorry. Thanks for watching, everybody. Farewell.